I will never forget the moment when I was taught the most important thing ever, that RPGs proceed by allowing players to iteratively make changes to a shared fictional world. Thank you, Tim Hutchings. I will never forget this vital information.
RPGs proceed by allowing players to iteratively make changes to a shared fictional world. Also talking to the Cobalt Core devs about Rigspawn. That was wild.
I remember seeing Tim in the lobby of the GCC with 4 disposable Slurpee cups, and we found out the next day he had 8 of them, and he turned it into a whole lengthy, convoluted, hilarious example for our class about what we were learning about. It was great.
Is how he can turn anything into a game design lesson. Like the time he turned his gas station cup into a lesson about negative gameplay loop.
I really appreciate Tim for giving us a lot of knowledge about board games, especially since game designers don't really consider board games over digital games. And I think that's really cool that he's like the board game guy.
Me and some guys, we just stayed after class for a good 2 hours talking with Tim about random stuff. And then he showed us where he could find some spicy videos on the internet.
So there was one time that I was at a crosswalk holding a bunch of cardboard, and then out of nowhere, Hutchings walked up, said that's a shitty Halloween costume, and then walked away. I'll miss you, Hutchings.
Us guiding him through Five Nights at Freddy's.
I had gotten my COVID shot the day before my first class of Survey of Games, and then so it was the beginning of the class, and I went up to him and I introduced myself and I said, "Hello, I'm sorry, I'm really loopy because I just took my COVID shot." And then the class ended and everyone was introducing themselves, and I thought, "Oh, I need to introduce myself." And then I basically went up to him and said, "Hello, I'm sorry, I'm really loopy. I took my COVID shot yesterday." And he went, "Now I'll remember who you are because you introduced yourself to me twice." But then I cut my hair and changed majors, so I don't think he really remembered. But hi, Tim.
And my favorite memory of him is after my advising meeting for my sophomore year. We just discussed video games, and he recommended me some stuff, like a cool Wild West game. And I still remember that.
I was playing a game with you and other people, and Tim came in with some friends and a box of Girl Scout Thin Mint cookies and a board game to play with his friends. And I was feeling really, really giddy. He asked us how we were doing, if we're having a good time. And I said, "Not as good as a time as you're gonna have with those Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies." And he looked at me, didn't smile, didn't say a word, and walked away. And that just really stuck with me because it scared me. So thank you, Tim.
Always coming up with these cool, interesting connections that you would never expect to see. Like, this one time I found a reference to the book Homo Ludens, which he made us read for class in a game. So I sent it to him, and his response was, "Think of all the people who are just going to see the word homo and start molding." And I don't remember what I was expecting him to say in response, but it was definitely not that.
A bunch of us in our cohort just got a bunch of quotes and just called it the Tim Hutchings Bible. Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty funny. I remember the Tim Hutchings Bible. We literally have I have by myself from my classes 5 pages of Tim Hutchings quotes from random various days about the different things that he's done on his life or anything. Yeah. And it's really endearing.
Hello, Jacqueline.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure I'm enjoying this game of D&D that we're playing.
So true. You know what would make it even better? Pizza.
From the Tim Hutchings. And then a second pizza.
And then donuts. But then we feel bad, so we gotta pay him back with cake.
So true.
And it's all a true story.
Thank you, Tim Hutchings.
Thank you, Tim.
We love
We love you.
Timothy Hutchings, you are one of my favorite professors. One of my favorite moments with you was when you played the most unwanted song in history for one of your classes, and I don't think I'll ever forget that. It was extremely funny at the time, and I'm very happy that you did it. Thank you.
Hello, Professor Hutchings. My favorite memory of you is when you told me how to properly climb a building during Fuse. Thank you for being you, and you will be missed.
After his role-playing games 491 class, he told me and a couple of other students that he really appreciated how we ran and organized the games we played in that class. And my lack of experience with that type of game was surprising to him, and that felt really nice.
During my freshman year, I took a class that was by you, and it was a board game-ish survey class. I forgot the name of it, but your class basically introduced me to Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not really much of a player of it, but now I kind of know what it is, and I can talk to people about it. Thank you.
Tim Hutchings teaches something so awesome and so specific that it's something that only he can teach here. And it's something that we are going to miss a lot.
I really enjoyed all the random stories he would tell about his life, be it the podcast he was on or every little thing he did. And I'm going to miss that the most, is learning new things about him. He's such an interesting and fascinating person.
The one time I met you, I had lunch with you and Coberl and a few other people, and you convinced me to change career paths. And I didn't think about doing it at the time, but a year later, I actually did end up becoming a technical artist. So yeah, I like to think that conversation was just what made me go in the right direction. So yay, thank you.
Hey Tim, I hope that for whatever you're going through next in your career, you do an amazing job. And remember, don't forget about us, because we will never forget about you. Bye, Tim.
I don't have a single memory of Tim. I've got a lot of them. What I do know is he's going to be really missed by me and the students. And I wish you the best of luck, man. Miss you.
Thank you to everyone who submitted a video. I appreciate it, and I'm sure Professor Hutchings does just as much. In terms of my favorite Hutchings memory, there are a lot to choose from. Some big contenders are being abandoned at a Steak and Shake by him, being kicked out of our fuse pitch room but being gifted pizza in return, learning what the clumsy cleat is when it comes to a whaling boat, and so much more. But I don't think any memories could possibly replace Hutchings. Sincerely and truly. Thank you, Professor Hutchings. That being said, there is one more memory I'd like to bring up. At the end of last semester, you told us about how at, I believe it was Big Bad Con, a bunch of people took you aside into a room and complimented you for 15 minutes straight and then pretended nothing happened. So from the audience, I'm going to ask just one thing. Pretend this never happened. Thank you.